What's up, football fans? Welcome to this week in Dago Sports High School football edition on the Dago Sports Show. We have a very special guest, first ever coach that's graced their presence on the Dago Sports Show, the San Ysidro Cougars head coach for the football team and the girls flag team, Coach Giantoni, aka Toni Canales. Coach, thank you for your time. Thank you for coming on.
Appreciate you for having me, man. And again, thank you for giving me this platform and others as well. Give me this opportunity to speak. So appreciate it,
Yeah,
man.
yeah, it's well deserved, Coach. So I'm just going to jump right into it. You were the only person in CIF San Diego section that is the head coach for the varsity football team and the head coach for the girls flag team. Share with us the short version of how that all came to be, Coach.
So I've been coaching boys football for about 7 years, and I decided just to take a step back and want to take a year off. And the year I decided to take off, CIF decided to just launch girls flag football. After a week, I was bored, and I said, you know what, I want to continue to coach. So I hopped on it, and I came to San Ysidro and went at my admin and said, hey, I want to launch this program. They blessed me and allowed me to do it, and took off and ran away with it. After year one, had amazing success. Created a buzz on campus, and it really took off. So there was a coaching change done on the boys side, and administration asked me if I could do the boys. I did not want to because I didn't like the timing. However, I always wanted to be a head football coach, but I fell in love so much with the girls doing it one year that I didn't want to let it go either. So it
Mhm.
took a lot of thinking and took a lot of planning, but I basically met with admin and said, hey, I have an idea. Maybe I could do both. I know it sounds crazy because anybody that's out there that's a head football coach knows it's very time consuming, and there's a lot of stuff that goes behind the scenes that is not just coaching X's and O's. There's a lot, but it required me, to gain the kids' trust, the boys and girls, allowing me to do both. Getting admin's support and approval for me to do both, and also getting the right people around me. The right coaches. I have an amazing coaching staff. I have two coordinators that are on the boys' side that were former head coaches. I got some amazing assistant coaches as well that some of them are about to be coordinators soon, and future head coaches, I believe. And so having the right support system around me allows me to do both. So it is a lot, but again, I have the right people around me, and I'm able to do both because of them. So
Amazing feat to be able to juggle both of them. And you touched on how important it is to have quality supporting staff with your coaches. So talk to us about what the culture is down south in San Ysidro for football and girls flag football. You mentioned that you were building the foundation. Last year was the first year CIF did girls flag football. A lot of people didn't know what to expect. Now this year is the first full season. Everyone knows about it. It's growing. It's big. But overall, football wise, varsity tackle football and girls flag football, what's that culture down in the South Bay, San Ysidro
So in
football?
San Ysidro, so when I started the girls flag football, I mean, we had an amazing year one, and again, that became the buzz on campus. And historically, our boys football, they've had a couple good years, but it's never been the strongest sport on campus. So when I decided to take that job and continue to do the girls flag, I had a vision, and I want to make football. I want to make football fun, and I want to make it, something that kids enjoy down here at the border, right? Not just for the girls, but on the boys' side as well. So I want to make this a football school, not just for one gender, but for both, right?
Mhm.
Make it a place where people don't have to wait till Friday night to go to the games. My girls' flag football games, and one of my assistant coaches brought it up actually at one of our practices. Coach, man, those stands have been getting bigger for the girls' flag football throughout the years, man. Like it's starting to look a lot like the boys. So to me, that's an accomplishment because again, it's making football attractive, and people don't have to wait to go watch boys football. They can go watch girls
Right.
football as well. So that's my goal, is just making it a sport that you know it's enjoyable and it's successful down here at the border. And that's one of the advantages I believe we have being San Ysidro High School. A lot of people don't know that we also tap into the market down in Mexico, down in Tijuana, right? We get a lot of kids that come from school down there. So if I'm able to keep that pipeline and make it attractive, make it an attractive border town school for the sport itself, I mean it's a success to me.
Yeah, and the last time San Ysidro had all this, attention was when Mikey Williams was there playing
Mhm.
basketball. Then COVID hit and everything changed. But you're seeing now the community support, the school support, student support for your programs. How does it make you feel knowing that? this is not a juggernaut powerhouse football like other schools. It's South Bay is right on the border, but that's your neck of the woods. And you see the staff and the students and the community getting behind you, helping with this program. How does that feel just from that perspective with you, coach, getting that support?
It's huge. And one thing that I've tried to tap in a lot into it has been our alumni. Even like for the tackle football side, because girls flag football is still in its youth stages. For the tackle football side, even though we haven't had success, one thing that's been important to me is reaching out to the alumni that attended the school and just letting them know, hey, when you guys were at school here, you guys wanted to see this program take certain steps, right? This school is only 20 years old. So we do have a small alumni, presence. However, like when I reach out to those alumni, I let them know, hey, think about when you were here. If you had alumni, what could you do to give back? So one thing is I've been out at the community and trying to get people to, give back, and I asked them, I said, I don't need you guys to come back and coach. I just need you guys to support in any type of way, give these kids something that maybe you didn't have when you were here as a student. So again, tapping into the community, it has been huge for me. And it's been a home run so far in these short 2 years on the boys tackle football side. The girls, again, that one is relatively new, but it's off to a good start, and I'm glad I was able to get the girls flag football off to a good start because, my job now is to keep it there and now getting the boys tackle football to that level. Right. So,
Right.
so yeah, so far so good.
Yeah, and I want to touch on your accomplishments. Last year, you won the CIF Sportsmanship Award for the being a head coach on the varsity tackle team, and then you also were selected as the SDFNL the first 2 years of the All Star game as the head coach, and you won both of those games. And also, you were recognized by the LA Rams as the state coach of the year in California. You were the runner up, and from what we talked on before we got on, they put you up in the suite. I mean, what was that experience like? These accolades that all your hard work is paying off. How did that feel to you, coach?
Like I tell people, by the way, I was nominated this week for Chargers Coach of the Week. And my thing is, I've been telling a lot of people, it's not about me. It's about my community and my program, right, and the kids. So me winning these awards, it's awesome. It's very surreal. But I tell people, like, for example, I'll use the Rams Coach of the Year when it went up there, put me in the suite, and I was on the field pregame. I was prideful wearing my San Ysidro jacket, right? Just kind of hard right here on my shirt. It says San Ysidro, right? I'm up there representing my school, my community, and that's what means the most to me. It's not my name. It's not. Yeah, I know my names are on those awards, but to me, it's when it says San Ysidro High School. That to me is what means the most because my job is to represent the community as best as I could. I take pride in that CIS Sportsmanship Award last year. And being Coach of the Year runner up again. It's to me, it's not about my name. It's about my community and the kids, right? Representing them. So,
Yeah.
If I'm able to get all these accolades, as long as it says San Ysidro on it, that's what makes me, the most proud, because it's them who I'm representing.
I love that answer, Coach. And who or which of your former coaches inspired you to be a coach right now in this part of your life? Because I'm sure you came to the like, hey, I want to coach. What was that? Who was that one coach that stuck to you in your youth or adolescence years that inspired you to become a coach?
Believe it or not, I don't have a coach, like one specific coach. I think it was all my coaches. So just a little background on me. I grew up without a father, and I was raised by my
Mhm.
grandma and my mom. So I had no father figure. So I grew up playing. I played soccer, football. When I got to high school, did multiple sports as well. And to me, every male figure in my life, every coach was inspirational to me because, again, I grew up with no father figure. My mom and grandma did their best to try to, be male role models.
Right.
To me and my brothers. Which, by the way, I have 5 brothers, so we were family of all boys, and
Yeah.
no father figure around for all me and my brother. So just having our mom and grandma, that was a little tough. But again, I don't have one specific coach. Every single coach I played for, they inspired me because they were all fathers to me, and
Yeah.
I took one thing from each one of my coaches growing up, and it made a huge impact in my life. And I joined the military right out of high school, and once I got out of the military, you know, I had flashbacks of what were the greatest moments of my life, and it was playing sports, right? Especially at the high school level. And I said, you know what, I want to do that. I want to be like my coaches, all my coaches at the high school level, and go inspire and try to be make change for them, right? And try to, be a positive male role model like those men were to me. So believe it or not, it's all my coaches.
Yeah, and thank you for your military service, and I can't imagine how impactful you are and that father figure you are for the kids that you're coaching now. And I'm sure that throughout the years, as they get older and graduate, they're still going to call you coach because that's the ultimate form of respect that they're growing and calling you coach. So again, much respect for all that you do down south. Definitely deserve the flowers, coach. It's remarkable that you're a head coach for the girls flag and the varsity football team down south, and I wish that this platform can help you get any support you need and put a spotlight on everything you're doing down there. And I want to again appreciate all you do. Continue all the good work, coach. I want to get into present day time. I know your time is limited, so you get headed out to your JV game, but tomorrow on the 26th, your varsity football team goes out to the desert against Southwest El Centro. But on Saturday, your girls flag football team has a huge game against modern day Santa Ana. How did you book that game on the schedule, coach? Because you guys are 8-3 and they're 9-4. Is that correct, coach?
Correct.
How did, and modern day, not the one in Chula Vista, the big one in LA, like that's going to be a massive game. So talk to us about that one before I let you go, coach.
So it's funny. So we had a morning practice today. 7 in the morning, by the way. My girls show up early to practice, and after practice, we talked about that game. So great coaches up there at Modern Day. I still had a game on the schedule to fill, so I wanted to have a measuring stick game to see if we're there. If we are there. We've had some success this year, some big blowout wins, but I wanted to see. Okay, I wanted to give my girls a challenge, so I decided to reach out to them, and they got back to me, and they accepted. They said, "Hey, yeah, we'd love to play you guys." So we were able to book it. And one thing I did tell my girls today is not everybody, and yeah, I know people think of modern day Santa Ana because of football, but if you do some research and background on that school, they're elite in every sport, right? And in their flag football, they're top 10 in the state as well. So they're the real deal. But I was telling my girls, I said, not everybody gets to play modern day Santa Ana. If that's on the schedule, you're one of the select few. Not everybody gets to put them on the schedule if you're not in their league, right, or in their section. So, one thing I told my girls is go up there and have fun, represent not just our program but our city as well, because we are going to go up there and play San Diego flag football. Like represent our flag football style. And why not? Why not go up there and try to pull off uh, an upset is what we'll call it, right? So,
Right.
But one thing that my girls know is they don't know better. Just kind of on a side note, last year my girls flag football played Torrey Pines, and on paper we were supposed to lose and get blown out in that game. They were that's one of the top programs here in San Diego in all sports as well, and we were able to come out with that win. So, I will say one thing about my girls is sometimes they don't know better, and sometimes they'll go up there and they'll play real hard and might sneak up with a win or two that people don't expect us to win. So, excited about that game. And I hope I can represent not just my program and community, but San Diego well, and go on and put on a good show up there.
Well, just like the Dago Sports tagline, we're underrated meets undeniable. Your teams are underrated, but they cannot be denied, Coach.
Absolutely.
We wish you all of the best of luck on your games this Friday night and traveling up Saturday. Represent for the city, your team, your community, yourself, your family. Amazing efforts you're doing down there, Coach. Best of luck to you. And is there any like in terms of like a website or anything like you want people to know that if they can look for more information or how to help and donate or support your program?
The only thing the one thing I would just tell people, social media is big right now. We're about to launch a fundraiser, through our boys and girls platforms. So that fundraiser is about to get launched next week. So I just tell people, hey, follow us on social media, and if you see anything posted on there where it's a fundraiser or anything where people can support, please support in any way possible. Again, it's not about me; it's about the kids, right? So if anybody sees anything on our social media websites, on our Instagrams posted that, and people want to donate, and support us, and we would be truly grateful for that, because at the end of the day, it's about the kids' experience. These are the best 4 years of their life. After high school, I tell my kids adulting is tough, so I try to make it as enjoyable as possible before they enter the real world, is what we say.
Absolutely. I tell all these kids as well, student athletes, to try to stay in school as long as you can because bills and responsibility are waiting for you when you're done. So But we'll
Absolutely.
end it on that, Coach. Safe travels out to the desert today and tomorrow, and up to Santa Ana on Saturday. Thank you for your time. Well deserved. Football fans, you better put some respect on Coach-Giantoni's Canales' name. San Ysidro head coach for football, head coach for the girls flag team. Great job, Coach. Keep up the great work.
Absolutely, man. Thank you. Thank you once again.
All right. All right. Thank you.